Hello, and welcome to Microdose for the Mind. I'm James, a ketamine patient, broadcasting from my cozy retreat at the bottom of the garden. We're here together as a community, living with depression, pain, brain fog, or chronic illness, finding relief through ketamine treatment. Make sure you've taken your medication. By now, you feel the first gentle waves begin to kick in. Even if you're not a ketamine patient, this space is still for you. Time to reflect, breathe, and reset. This time isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. So, whether you're lying down, going for a quiet walk, or watching calm imagery, this is your time. Let's get the most out of it together. If possible, listen through headphones. Now prepare your space. If you're watching the visuals, go full screen and turn off all notifications. If you're resting, find a comfortable position in a soft light. And if you're walking, ensure you're somewhere safe, peaceful, and in nature. Now let's begin with some deep breathing. Breathing in through your nose, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In through your nose, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in through your nose, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if your eyes are closed, imagine walking a forest path. The air is still. Light filters gently through the trees. With each step, your body feels lighter and lighter. With each breath, you release tension. For those watching, imagine yourself walking through this beautiful countryside. Again, each step feels lighter and lighter. For those walking, again, each step feels lighter and lighter. Look at the beautiful nature all around. Each breath carries away a worry. You don't need to solve anything right now. Just be. Today's reflection: does worry help or hinder us? For many of us living with depression or chronic illness, worry can be a constant background noise. We worry about what's happened or what might be, and society feeds this from the news, social media, subtle pressure. We're not quite good enough. When it comes to worry and our health, we need to pay attention. Numerous studies show that worry and stress impacts our body in a very negative way. It weakens our immune system, raises our blood pressure, disrupts sleep, increases pain and sensitivity. The mind, it triggers anxiety and panic, disrupts focus, heightens irritability, and can deepen our depression. Ketamine can interrupt the brain's habitual worry loops. It quiets the amygdala, the brain's fear center. This is why how we spend our treatment time matters. Let's plant new thoughts. Early Stoic Epictetus said, "It's not things that trouble us, but our opinion about things." Worry comes from trying to control what is not in our control. Epictetus emphasized the dichotomy of control, distinguishing what is within our power and what is not. He argued that worrying about things outside of our control is futile and leads to distress. Worrying about what might happen, he proposed we focus on what we can control. He encouraged examining the roots of our anxieties, questioning whether they're based on reason or imagined scenarios. He used examples like worrying about social disgrace or losing material possessions to illustrate that our fears can be unfounded and based on expectations rather than genuine needs. I think it's really important for our community. Epictetus viewed worry as a drain on our mental and emotional energy, distracting from living a meaningful life. By focusing on what is within our control, we can direct our energy towards actions that align with our values and contribute to our well-being. I think it's all about embracing the present moment. By focusing on the present and accepting what is, rather than dwelling on the future, the past, we can reduce anxiety and find greater peace. Sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I'll just think about today, that's all. And if I find my mind wandering on to next week, next month, I say stop. Just today, that's all we're going to think about today, one day at a time. Another Stoic philosopher, Seneca, addressed worry as a significant obstacle to a peaceful life. He said, "We suffer more in our imagination than on our reality." He argued that people tend to worry excessively about the future, often imagining misfortunes that may never occur. This focus on the uncertain future, according to Seneca, leads to unnecessary suffering and prevents one from fully experiencing the present. He encouraged individuals to confront their fears rationally, challenging negative thoughts, and consider possibility that what they might fear ultimately might be beneficial. And consider the possibility that what they fear might ultimately be beneficial. Think of the times when you thought you'd made a mistake, you'd had a disappointment, but it led you down another path. I remember once I didn't get a job that I really wanted and I was absolutely devastated. And then a few weeks later, another opportunity came along that actually completely changed my life. I would have had to turn down the position if I got the other job. It's a reminder to trust in the journey. So thinking about Seneca, perhaps we should make an effort to focus on what is within our control, your thoughts, choices, and responses, and let go of the rest. It makes me think of the Latin term premeditatio malorum. Imagine the worst calmly so you can prepare without panic. Seneca encouraged a shift in perspective. He suggested that even if a feared event occurs, it might not be as terrible as anticipated, and it could be the catalyst for growth. So certainly think about the possibilities, what could happen, but don't let them dominate you. The Buddha taught that worry arises from attachment and craving. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Worry is viewed as a form of suffering rooted in this attachment and ignorance. It's seen as a mental state that arises from clinging to impermanent things and failing to grasp the nature of reality. The Buddha's teachings encourage letting go of worry by understanding the causes. Attachment, I think, is about worrying because we crave stability and permanence in our world. But how futile this is, because inherently our world is impermanent. The Buddha taught about the monkey mind, often using the analogy to describe the restless, wandering nature of thoughts, including worry. Buddhism encourages us to let go of worries by understanding that they're not helpful and by actively choosing to focus on something else. This could involve focusing on breath, practicing loving kindness, or engaging in activities that bring us joy. Ultimately, we have the power to choose how we respond to our thoughts and feelings. We can choose to nourish our worries or cultivate a more peaceful and positive state of mind. The Buddha suggests that if a problem can be solved, worrying about it is unnecessary, and if it can be solved, worrying just won't help. Ask yourself, what are the things I worried about 5 years ago? Which of them still matter? Really interesting. I think you'll find not much. By now, the medicine should be in full effect, so I want us to take some deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In through your nose, 2, 3, and out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want you to take a minute now and think about something that's been worrying you, that's been on your mind. Can you feel how less overwhelming this fear is? Nothing's changed, only your feelings on the matter. I remember once, after taking a dose, I found myself fixated on a memory. It was a conversation with a friend, and I thought it had gone horribly wrong, and I didn't hear from the friend for several weeks. I replayed it endlessly. I fantasized about what I was going to say next time I saw them. But as the ketamine settled in, that loop softened. I realized I wasn't even sure what the other person was thinking. And did it really matter? What was my obsessive loop going over and over the event? How was it helping? I was clinging to this story in my mind. That day, I learned not all thoughts are worth believing. This brings to mind Martin Heidegger, who was a German philosopher. He talked about worry isn't a flaw, it's just a fundamental part of the human experience. We're beings who care. We're thrown into a world and we must choose. He distinguished anxiety from other emotions, characterizing it as a fundamental mood that discloses our being in the world. It's not a specific reaction to a particular object, but a sense of unease that arises from human existence. It's intimately connected with the experience of nothingness, confronting the possibility of one's own non-existence, or the nothing that lies beyond the limits of one's current being. It can evoke a profound sense of anxiety. He argued that this anxiety should be a catalyst for self-discovery. By confronting nothingness, we can break free from the distractions and superficialities of everyday life and begin to take responsibility for our own being. I think it's about becoming authentic by confronting and thinking about death and not being scared of it and just making meaningful choices. We're all mortal, that this will all come to an end, that what is actually worth worrying about? We all begin and we all end in the same place, and when you're distracted in your thoughts, a reminder, is this worth it? We'll be dead one day. I'm going to move on to one of my favourites, a British philosopher and interpreter of Eastern philosophies, Alan Watts. I think he gives us a unique perspective on the nature of worry and how to overcome it. He said, "The real reason you are worried is because you cannot relax and enjoy uncertainty." We're addicted to controlling and planning. Worry is a vicious cycle where individuals worry about a problem and then about the fact they're worrying, leading to further anxiety. We're constantly trying to control the uncontrollable. Much of our anxiety stems from control, trying to control things that are beyond our control, like the future of life's inevitable changes. I remember he compares trying to make rough waters smooth with a flat iron. You'll see the connections with the Buddha. Distraction from the present often pulls focus from the present moment, which is the only reality experience. This hinders the ability to fully engage with life and find peace. The human desire for absolute security is ultimately futile, as life is inherently uncertain and characterized by change. I think in essence, Alan Watts' teachings encourage us to shift our perspective, moving it away from this frantic search for security and control to more of an accepting presence, and focused way of being. By embracing uncertainty and understanding the interconnectedness of all life and things, individuals can find greater peace and freedom from the anxieties of life. I strongly encourage you to listen to Alan. There's tons of his talks on YouTube, and he has the most wonderful speaking voice. So today's journey is coming to an end. I think we so much think about after today, but I suspect many of us spend so much time trying to change the world around us in the hope that it will make us feel better, rather than spending time changing on the way we view the world. The job we didn't get, the relationship that went wrong, the money lost. If only we hadn't made that wrong move, that decision. But it's all a matter of perspective. After some contemplation, I think you realize that much of our suffering comes from within. It's important to realize that we cannot control most of life. So what's the point of worrying about it? Those of us who face chronic health conditions need all of our strength to deal with the situation we find ourselves in. We need to heal. Today, as you go about your day and something challenges you or makes you anxious, try just changing the subject in your head. I call it changing the record. I go down a certain road and I say to myself, stop, change the record. For younger listeners, you probably don't know what a record is. Change the track. Recognize it's sapping your precious recovery energy. Try looking at this situation differently. If someone's being difficult, I wonder what it is they're struggling with, because I find in life often difficult and controlling people are not happy people. Let's reframe worry. I think about quotes that stick in my head, and I'm sorry I don't know who to attribute them to, but I remember, worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Or our minds are like skies. Thoughts pass like weather. Worry is just a cloud. Or worry is an overprotective friend, loud, well-meaning, but often unhelpful. So lastly, remember there's nothing wrong with you. You're not defective goods because you're struggling with your mental or physical health. This is the cards life has dealt. Try to use your struggles to enrich your life. You probably wouldn't have had this time if you weren't struggling. And this is propelling you forward to be a more rounded, content, empathetic, and emotionally richer person. On our next episode, I think we'll reflect on forgiveness, why it's important to forgive those who don't understand our health challenges, and why, when we fail to forgive, perhaps it's not the best thing for our own recovery. Until our next broadcast, remember to breathe deeply, embrace the journey within, and find peace in every step. This is James at the bottom of the garden, signing off with hope, love, and resilience.